What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Mathews, aka Bizzle.
It's your co-host, Rick Masters.
And today, I hope you guys checked out our last episode. We had 3 good topics last week. We're on episode number 4. If you have not checked out our episodes, go on and check us out on YouTube at The Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Go to our Instagram at _the pull up _. And we're now on Spotify as well, The Pull Up Basketball Podcast. But Rick, we've been talking a lot about who's our top players and who we think is the best players in the league. And obviously, 2 of the players that we talk about quite frequently are Kevin Durant and LeBron James. The last couple of years, we've been hearing a lot of speculation about who's the top dog in the league. So in your opinion, who would you give the nod to as far as who you would start your team with? Kevin Durant, LeBron, let me hear what you got to say.
Well, hey, Jizzle, when I start my team, I got to go with that Kevin Durant, man. The reason why I'm picking KD, let me just read the numbers off real quick to you and also to the audience that's listening today. Now, with LeBron, the king, we got 24.6 points this season. He's averaging 0.3 blocks. He's averaging 0.9 steals. He's averaging 7.8 assists. He's averaging 7.6 defensive rebounds and 0.8 offensive rebounds. Also for KD, we got 28.2 points, 0.8 blocks, 1.2 steals, 4.8 assists, defensive rebound 6.5, offensive 0.5. So, guys, as you can see, KD is just a offensive massacre. Of course, King James got him by the assist and he got him by the rebounding as well. But, man, those points matter. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason why I'm going with KD, and also to reference my site, basketballreference.com, if you guys want to check it out. But the reason why I'm going with KD is simply because this man is the epitome of Godzilla. How can you be that tall with that wingspan and to shoot so effortlessly? I mean, this man can literally let it rip from anywhere on the court. He's literally a one-man army. He's a one-man army. So to me, basketball is a team sport, people. All right, everybody watching. I play ball. It's a team sport. B Jizzle knows this. It's a team sport. But when you're 7 feet tall with a wingspan like that, and can pull up from anywhere and can dribble like a small 5'8" guard, it is very, very difficult to stop a force of nature like that. And I just feel the reason why I'm picking him over LeBron is that I don't care what team you're on, when you have that type of repertoire, those type of weapons at your side in your compartment, it's just gonna be hard to stop. That's just how I feel. But how you feel about it, BJ? Why are you picking LeBron, man?
Well, okay, so before I get into LeBron, let me give KD his props. When you talk about individual skills, I agree with you. Skill set wise, I think Kevin Durant got LeBron. As far as the scoring and the ways to score, things of that nature, and being a one-on-one, just perfectionist, I'll go with KD. But the thing that hurts KD is that we didn't see him play last year. And the fact that LeBron is the champion, he is the person that's coming off of MVP in the finals. He proved once again he's a top dog when we had so many speculation last year. Very similar to the year before when LeBron got hurt and Kawhi came out in the finals. I was saying Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the league. So to be on an even kill, LeBron proved it last year in the finals who's the best player in the league. Kevin Durant was hurt. LeBron, his resume speaks for itself. Kevin Durant winning those 2 championships. I'm not so hard on him as other people are. But now the question is, can he win as the top dog? And I feel he has all the capability to do that, but I got to see it, and everybody else has to see it. So I'm going to say right now, I'm going to say LeBron James, this is probably going to be his last year still being the top dog in the league. I feel like, other guys like Giannis, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Kawhi are right there on his heels. No, scratch Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis are all on his heels. Anthony Davis as well. But as far as right now in his resume, I just got to go with LeBron James. The numbers are not too different. So, I just think KD, once he reassures himself, I think you can probably start talking about him being the best player. But right now, I got LeBron.
Okay. I will say, phenomenal choice. LeBron has proven himself to be true over the years, so we can't take that away from Mr. King James. I will say that, like you said, those numbers are pretty close. I really just feel like that's Father Time probably creeping up on him. So we really can't hit that too hard. But
Right.
I can see why you're picking LeBron over KD as of right now. But I'm gonna say if I just feel like if KD and Kyrie somehow can just play defense, I would honestly 100% say that LeBron would even be in the question. But because KD ain't there right now, yeah, I gotta kind of agree with you in this perspective that because KD is not where he's supposed to be, and because he, like you said, he does have to prove himself to show that he could be a top dog with his own team, then I definitely can agree with your side on the perspective of that's why LeBron is still a smidge ahead of him. But I'm still going to take my leap of faith with KD just because of the massive weapon that he is, and then a little bit of life that's still in him, because I believe he's younger than LeBron James, right?
Yeah, he got him by 4 years. LeBron 36. I think KD's 32. So he definitely got the age
Okay,
back.
so he got a little juice in him.
He got a little more juice in him.
Okay.
I think again another thing that puts LeBron, give him the edge. He's his leadership. He's able to galvanize his guys to become. He's a vocal leader. We talked about this the last couple episodes. LeBron James' greatest asset is him to use his voice and be able to get his guys together, because it's not so much his physical skills anymore. Because before he doesn't have his athleticism like he used to have. You know what I mean? His vision, he still has his vision, but he's not just dunking on players like he used to do. Now he gets to a point where you got to use your mind, use your leadership, use your voice. And that's how the great players stay great. So Kevin Durant, he's right there on his heels, but I got to see this year if he can lead Brooklyn to a championship. Of course, if he can lead it against the Lakers, then I'll give Kevin Durant the nod. But right now, it's going to be King James.
All right, man. I mean, you kind of got me with the leadership part because, hey, KD hasn't really shown to be that much of a leader. He looks more like he's like a super strong sidekick. It's like if Robin had more powers than Batman, but Batman was still the leading guy.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you mean when you say that, he needs to come to that leadership part.
Right. So, I mean, we're talking about these, MVP candidates, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi, AD. But what about these duos, man? Like, there's some crazy duos in the league right now, and it's so many to choose. And I like how the NBA is right now because the super team aspect is gone right now. For the most part, you have two great players on each team. The talent is spread out. For me, I love seeing basketball like this because it takes me back to the 2000s where, you had the Kobe and Shaq, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. You had all the duos out there in the early 2000s. So now we're back to that type of basketball. Who are your top four duos at this point, Rick? Let me hear them.
Hey, B. Jizzle, my top four right now, top duos, is, of course, KD and Irving in the Nets, LeBron James, Anthony Davis with LA Lakers. Okay. You have Tatum and Walker in the Celtics, and you have Chris Paul and Devin Booker with the Phoenix Suns. Now, of course, the Nets are 5-5, Lakers are 7-3, Celtics are 7-3, and Phoenix are 7-3. So if you notice, a lot of those Western teams are the top dogs right now. And in the East, of course, they're number 4 in their region, the Nets, but they're 5-5. So all the teams I just named out with those duos are obviously at the top of their class right now.
Right.
And I chose these duos because obviously I won't spend too much time on KD and Kyrie since I talk about them a lot. But they're an offensive mess, man. They would rip you to shreds. Only criticism I have for those two is that they need more leadership, like you mentioned on the first topic, and also they need to play better defense as a team. I noticed that's their weak point right now. LA, what can I say? Defending champs. Can't really say too much. When you the defending champ, hey man, you the King James. I'm gonna move on. Celtics, Walker, Tatum, those guys are balling out of control. Man, look here. Tatum is looking like a clone of Kobe a little bit. I can't really call him Kobe because Kobe had more of a killer instinct, but maybe Tatum will grow into that later in his years. But he's starting to remind me a little bit of that Mamba mentality, just a tad bit. So I'm really keeping my eye on him. And Walker, of course, we already know he a dog. He's been a dog since he was with the Hornets. He's a dog with the Celtics. So when you put that dog and Mamba mentality together, man, you got a monstrosity growing out there in the Celtics. Now, next to the Phoenix Suns, Man, why do people sleep on Chris Paul? Chris Paul is out here balling out of his mind. It's like he's running away from Father Time. It
Right.
can't catch up to him. And
Right.
then Devin Booker, this man looking like Steph Curry's rival, like the Joker and
Mm-hmm.
Batman.
Yep.
So, when it comes down to my four, that's my duo. But what's your duo, man? What's your top four?
So, I mean, you can kind of, the first three I think are pretty much obvious. AD and LeBron coming off a championship. Kawhi and PG, who are the runner-ups, who were supposed to knock out the Lakers last year. And then you got KD and Kyrie. Those three I feel like are just set in stone. The fourth one you kind of can play with a little bit. So I'm going to go with, just because of their record, just because of how hot they've been, the youth mixed with the experience, the continuity they have. I'm going to go with CP3 and Devin Booker. You're right, man. Chris Paul, I think it's safe to say what team he goes to, like he did with OKC last year, he makes that team better because he's a true leader, a true floor general. He galvanized his teammates. And he's doing a great job with Devin Booker. I think Book's like 24, 25, 24,
Yeah.
25. Yeah, so he's not even in his prime yet. So he's got a long way to go. I look at Devin Booker, he's going to be a superstar in this league. I said that last week on our show. So those four duos. But in the runner-ups, it's so close. You got, Jokic and Murray. Jamal Murray, like, they had a crazy run in the bubble last year, and they took the Lakers to 6 games. So they're nice.
Yes.
Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker are nice. You got, Luka and Porzingis, nice little duo. And then you got so many, teams. Dame and CJ. You got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. But, I mean, it's just so many duos you can think of, man. It's crazy. It's nuts. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more of this type of basketball. I think it's better, like, we have it spread out, the talent. But speaking of that as well, like, do you think that Damian Lillard and CJ should split up? Do you think they should split up that duo?
I'm stuck in the middle with that, Bizzle. And the reason why I say I'm stuck in the middle is because when I say no, the reason why I'm saying no is because you can't recreate chemistry. You can't rebirth or reincarnate a chemistry that you have with someone. If you take me and you an example, I feel like no matter how much time goes by, if I play with you, you will always have that chemistry that we always created. No matter what team we play on, who we're playing against, it's just a natural innate ability that we have with each other.
Right.
Now, if we replace me and you play with a brand new guy, same build, same skills as me, but he doesn't know you. He doesn't know how you play. Right. I just feel like it may work, but then again, you're really rolling the dice because you don't know the guy's attitude, you don't know his pedigree. So, I mean, to me, it's risky either way you go, and that's why I'm kind of stuck in the middle. So that's kind of my answer with that.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing with Dame and CJ, they're a great scoring backcourt. It's just the fact that they play in the West, where people see, okay, they don't make it past the second round, why they just should be able to split the team up. Yeah. It's hard to win a championship. It's hard to go to the conference finals in the Western Conference, especially the last 4 years with Golden State being right there in your face, Houston being right there in your face. So Dame and CJ, they're a great duo. They just have to, face all these juggernaut teams. If they're in the East, there's no doubt in my mind they would have had a couple trips to the conference finals already. So, I mean, the NBA is just competitive. I love it. But going back to, a special duo, KD and Kyrie, Kyrie's been in the news once again. Now it's about him taking time off after the whole situation that happened at the U.S. Capitol, the whole Jacob Blake sentence. He takes off a couple games. Not only does he take off, but he also doesn't let his head coach, Steve Nash, know. Lets all of his teammates know. Karis LeVert, KD, all his teammates, they know where he's at. But Steve Nash, for some reason, did not get that text message. So now you have people in the media saying, once again, that Kyrie needs to step away from basketball. But I have my take on it. What is your take on the whole Kyrie fiasco once again?
Well, again, to the audience and to Mr. B. Jizzle himself, I got a little bit of information. I got a lot of information, but mostly I pulled from ESPN, Skip and Shannon Undisputed, and different web articles online on Google.
Mm-hmm.
What I got from all the information and what I think about it, man, what the mindset it puts me in. Because first of all, I love Kyrie. I don't want to judge the brother. You know, you have your right to feel, to think how you want to think. But the only thing that gets me, and it kind of confuses me, is why would you tell your teammates and not
I'll tell
your boss, your
your coach,
coach,
right?
or even a
Right.
person above your coach, like your main
Right.
boss? I mean, somebody. But you know, then I thought to myself, well, okay, if it's like a personal, so let's say, you know, me and you play on a basketball team, B Jizzle, and we have a coach that we report to. I tell, like, you know, let's say I ain't gonna say nothing too crazy because, you know, knock on wood, but let's say something tragic happens in my life, but I trust you, we're brothers. So of course I might text you, I might come to you and tell you, but I might not want to tell a lot of people because it's that personal to me. So that's one way I looked at it. I was like, you know what? I can understand the brother if
Right.
it was like something very, very tragic and he doesn't trust everybody in his business but his brothers. So
Mm.
I was like, okay, fair enough. I put myself in his shoes. But then I thought to myself on the other end, on the other spectrum, it's like, what if it wasn't really that tragic? What if it was just, like you said, the things that are going on in the news today, the
Mm-hmm.
Capitol, not saying that what he's dealing with, the outside external forces of things, not saying that
Right.
that's not tragic within his personal self, but I'm
Right.
saying overall, you know, if somebody loses their mother, their brother, that's tragic. But the Capitol, I mean, that doesn't come to your house and attack you. So it's like, you know, if it's something like that, could you not let your coach know? You know, because it's like you let your teammates know. Could you not let your coach know, especially the person that's kind of representing you in a way? When people ask
Right.
about you, they kind
Right.
of can protect you as well. So that's kind of how I went about it. But what you think, B Jizzle? What was your thoughts on it?
The only thing that I had an issue with was him not telling Steve Nash, the head coach.
Okay.
That's the only issue I had. It is a little bit strange that you would. I don't know how you even get to that point where you tell your team, but you don't tell your head coach. And if
Yeah.
this is the same guy Kyrie said he'll go to war with after their first win a couple weeks ago. So I would think you guys have pretty much somewhat of a relationship, but you don't let him know. But that's either here or there. But I hear a lot of stuff from, regular people on social media and then the media as well on TV talking about Kyrie just needs to step away from the game of basketball. I'm like, wait a minute, let's think about this. Just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, you were saying he was an MVP candidate, that he was killing the league, that Uncle Drew was back, and he can't be stopped and all this crazy stuff. But now you're talking about he needs to
Yeah.
take a break from the league. So it just goes to show you how quick the media will switch up things. 1 minute they love you, the next minute they don't want to even
Mm-hmm.
talk to you, don't want to hear nothing about you. So I said, let him be. Let him have his little, emotional getaway, what he needs to do, get himself right. He will be back again with another 40-point performance, 50-point performance, and all this will not be talked about. All this will be forgotten. You guys will be screaming,
Mm.
Uncle Drew this, Uncle Drew that. I do believe it had something to do with the whole. I mean, am I right? Like, isn't that how it is with sports? Like, you could have a bad game, and you obviously the worst player on the team, and then you come back have a
Yeah.
monster game. Everybody wants your autograph. Everybody wants to talk about you and everything like that. But I said, just let him be, man. Kyrie's fine. He'll be okay. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the whole capital thing. And goes to find out, he wasn't the only one contemplating not playing.
Mm.
And that's not getting put out there as well. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both said they were
Okay.
contemplating not playing as well. So I think once again, people are just trying to stick on things with Kyrie and pull out his files. And here we go with the flat earth and all that crazy stuff. And it just, he's
Yeah.
okay. He will be good. He will be ready to go when he's ready to go. Like I said, the only problem I had is not him telling Steve Nash. Because, I mean, we and you talked about this. Steve Nash seemed like probably the coolest coach you can play for.
Yeah.
You let
He
so much
does.
stuff
He
go.
does.
It's ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Uncle Drew, he'll be back.
He'll be back, man. He's gonna dominate like he always does. And I think you made a very strong point, man, that I think Kyrie just kind of created himself to be this character in the league where the media loves using him now because once you make statements like
Right.
I'm an artist and y'all are pawns, I think that naturally forces people to get on a defensive type of setting and want to come back at you. So I'm with you. I think at this point, no matter what he talks about or what he says or what he even does, it's just ammo to the media now, and they're going to run with it because, like you said, Tatum thought about not, playing because of what happened. So, that makes it. You made a very strong point with that this could just be an attack on Kyrie. So I
Yeah,
agree with you.
absolutely, bro. Because just, I mean, like you just said, everything that Kyrie says, they're going to use it as ammo. They can be like, oh, see, so he was doing, They're going to use everything that this man
Yeah.
does as ammo. I'm not saying Kyrie doesn't have, certain things that he needs to work on. I'm not saying that some things he may say is a little bit over the top. But for the most part, when he says things, I listen because I can feel his heart is in the right place. The problem with Kyrie Irving, though, like we said previously and prior, that you just got to be transparent with certain people. You need to let people know what you're feeling, so they can not have any type of confusion. Now, if they don't want to accept what you're saying, that's on them. Once you've been, straight up and forward with them, and they don't want to hear it, and they still want to give you backlash, that's on them. They just don't like what you say. But for you not to let your coach know where you're at, and then he have to answer questions at the post game, is a bad look, and it puts him out there. And I think Kyrie understands, like, that was probably not the best thing for me to do because, like I said, Steve Nash ain't did nothing to Kyrie. He ain't part of the media. He's just trying to coach and do a job, man. He's probably walking on eggshells, trying to just not make anything uncomfortable for you guys. So, give him that man some respect. Let him know where you're at, and keep it within the team, and then y'all good.
Two-time MVP, Canadian basketball superstar.
Right, man. Like,
and Shaquille O'Neal, if you ever hear this, you gotta let it go, man. That man was balling. You was balling too, but you gotta let it go.
That white boy was tough, man. Steve Nash was a baller, man. You better give that man his respect.
Gotta give him his respect. He'll kick that basketball like a soccer ball in that goal. Y'all better recognize, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Steve Nash was no play. He was no joke, man. He was no joke.
Oh, man. But that's all I had on it, man. That's all I got on it.
Oh, man. So, man, great show. KD and LeBron, top 4 duos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kyrie Irving has been going off the wall? Do you think the media, once again, is starting to stir the drink and try to stir things up? Let us know in the comment section. Let us know on our YouTube page, The Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Sorry. Instagram @_The Pull-Up. And then go to our Spotify now. We have our own Spotify, The Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. So, doing big things, man. I have another Laker coming next week. This guy I'm really pretty close to. We played a couple times. Good dude. Played with Kobe. He'll be on our show next week, and we'll be having him answering questions and as well as giving us some information about Kobe and some stories that the public does not know about. So you guys should pull up for that. Rick, what else you got, man?
Hey, man, if y'all want to hit me up on Instagram, Rick Masters @23, or just type in Mr. Lee, you'll see my face. YouTube, my name, Rick Masters. Facebook, my name, Rick Masters. So, yeah, man, that's where y'all can find me. Back at you, Bizzle.
All right, so that's episode number 4. Got episode number 5 with the Lakers next week. My Laker player I'm interviewing. And then episode 6, me and Rick will be back on the topics and debates. So you guys pull up a chair, pull up a seat, pull up.
Pull up.
Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.